Welcome back to the Prosperity Portal podcast. I'm your host, Jill Alana, and we have a free prosperity masterclass on October 19th where I'm doing free mini intuitive reads, a Jai activation, an energy boost, an energy clearing. And it's going to be a sample of what the Prosperity Portal membership is like for the live calls. So if you are keen, then definitely sign up for that below. As I said, it's free. It's going to be an amazing community, so much fun, and you will get so much vitality and inspiration from this masterclass and the energy work that we're going to do. Also have very exciting news. The Prosperity Portal retreat for May 2026 is now open for early bird applications. The applications are linked below in the show notes. If you have any questions, by the way, feel free to email teamjillalananixon@gmail.com. This is the most powerful portal of transformation you will ever enter. Miracles happen at these retreats. We've had people manifest their beloveds, manifest dream houses, women manifest dream houses, citizenship in record time, their dream car, their dream partner, dream wedding. One woman manifested 6 figures at an event. You can see that on the landing page. You can scroll down. It's in the video testimonials. Deepening in union. And really, this is all about becoming your most authentic version of you and transmuting trauma on a deep core level with somatic work and reclaiming your power, your purpose, and your potentials through integrating your shadow, so that you are the driver, the victor of your life versus your unconscious wounds driving your life and you calling it fate, because it's not. Carl Jung. The things that are unconscious, aka shadow, run our life and control your electromagnetic field, your energy field. And then we call it fate. It is not fate. You're literally controlling it. And when you integrate your shadow, illuminate it, and transmute the dense energies that were stopping that integration from taking place, then now you have your full power, your full presence, and your life purpose begins to reveal. And this is how you become the vortex and a powerful AF manifester. Literally. It is bonkers. So there's no retreat out there like this. I have gone to so many, and honestly, I wish I could come as a participant. But I'll be facilitating, and it's like a family vibe. You guys get to talk with me. You can ask me anything. Last year, I did mini intuitive reads for everyone, which were literally not mini, and those are typically 4 figures. They were like full intuitive reads, so perhaps we'll do those. We have some surprises, which I can't tell you about. You'll have to come see. It's on the Sunshine Coast, which is just off of Vancouver, BC in Canada. It's at a beautiful location. Everything's included. It will be taking place in the yurt, but you have your own, a shared room, your own bed, at a beautiful resort. There's a cold dip, there is a sauna, there is a spa, there is a hot tub. You can book a Lomi Lomi massage with Jen, who's one of the owners and such a beautiful human and also powerful healer. Yes, we will be doing Jai breath work for those who have asked, and Jai activations, and a lot more. It's going to be a ton of fun too. It is. One of my superpowers is making like the deepest core healing so fun. And you walk out transformed and you're just like on cloud 9. You're like, I don't even need anything. I don't want anything. I just feel so good. And by default, you become a magnet to all the miracles. That's how it works. So that is below. This will likely be the last retreat of this sort in a while. Everything's included. We have an amazing private chef as well. And the reason is because we're switching to more of an immersion style moving forward. And that might only be accessible to my high level mastermind that I run with my dear soul sister and business partner, which we're going to be doing a year-long mastermind for. So I don't know when or if we will do another retreat of this intimacy again. So get your butt in if you feel the call, get your application in, let's chat, let's make sure it's in alignment, and you will meet the best soul community from all over the world, and I do not say that lightly. They all say that. They're all still freaking friends from across the world. So soul family from across the world, and literally you becoming a magnet to your dreams and clearing all the energetics out of your field that aren't in alignment and that were actually blocking, stopping, or slowing down your soul manifestations. Let's go.
And without further ado, let's go to the show. Hello and welcome to the Prosperity Portal podcast. I'm your host, Jill Alana, and I'm here to support you in everything you need to prosper in health, wealth, and relationship. I'm obsessed with everything manifestation, soul path, intuition, somatic embodiment healing. And I'm looking forward to supporting you in liberating to a life of love and luxury. True empowerment, true sovereignty, and aligned soul manifestation. I'm the founder of Jill Alana International, Jai Activations, and Jai Breathwork. And without further ado, let's go to the show and get you resourced in everything.
Hello, beautiful souls. Today we have a very exciting story with a dear soul sister, Tasha. She is going to tell her story of when she chose to come to the retreat, what happened, the resistance that came up. And hello, Tasha. And then she did come, she made it happen, and the shifts that happened. Intuitive coach. Okay. Hi, Tasha. Okay, welcome. Thank you for joining me today. I'm so excited. So I was just telling everybody that you're going to share the story of choosing to come to the retreat, and then the fear and resistance that came up, as it always does, the ego trying to stop it. Yep. You made it. You had incredible shifts there. You played all out. And then many miracles happened on the other side. And I was just telling everybody that you're a really gifted, intuitive coach. She's also a very powerful medicine woman. And I'm helping you come into the closet with your gifts. So we'll link her info later.
Cat's out of the bag.
Yes. And if you're watching this on the podcast later, we'll link her info below as well. So you can reach out to her if you feel the pulse. So welcome, Tash.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Oh, all the nervousness is gonna come out in I think the first few minutes. So
perfect. This is it. You're expanding your nervous system. Can I share about the conversation, like brief conversation before? Okay, yes. So she messages me and she's like, I'm really scared. Like my head's spinning, and I'm like, this is normal, because when we are exposing ourselves and speaking, like more people have a fear of public speaking than death. That's crazy. And there's a capacity of the nervous system, which a lot of what we did at the retreat was actually nervous system expansion, not just regulation, but regulating in the expansion. This is how we hold more wealth. This is how we hold more intimacy. This is how we have the difficult conversations, and the level of success in our life in any area is truly a result of the difficult conversations that we're willing to have. And so you're essentially, it's a lot of people, like I still have it. I still have it when I speak live. It's just varying, sorry, that is my stove. It is just varying degrees. But I remember when I first started, it wasn't even live. It was a story I was telling of healing my eye years ago. And it was on YouTube, but I recorded it on my Zoom, and I'm literally like shaking during the whole story because I was like, I can't tell this. So many people hold themselves back from their soul purpose and their passion, the impact they're meant to have, because of this fear of being seen. And I don't know one entrepreneur who has not worked through so many layers of this. I don't know one person in a beautiful relationship that hasn't worked through layers of this, because intimacy is a result of us being vulnerable and speaking our truth and allowing ourselves to be deeply seen on a soul level. So I'm excited for you, because this is going to deepen you and your capacity in all areas of life. And it is so normal. It's not waiting for the fear to go away and then showing up. It's walking, having the courage to walk through that portal of fear, and then you gain embodied confidence, just like you did at the retreat. Congrats about the modeling thing as well. Like, okay, we got to talk about all the things, including that. But why don't you introduce yourself? And then I guess we'll start from when you felt the pull to the retreat. Well, maybe we can even start where we met when I was teaching in a container, and then from there, and then we'll tell the whole story.
I feel like we have so many stories that we can tell. And disclaimer, I'm a yapper, so that's just gonna happen today.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited.
Has a channel called Tash Talks. Highly recommend checking it out. And I see this channel exploding.
Yes, this is definitely like the cat's out of the bag kind of call, because I've told people I've done some things and like all behind the scenes, not really sharing it. And now it's just like, okay, well, here it is, it's happening. So I'm Tash. Some people know me as Natasha, some people know me as Tash. But I'm excited. I'm nervous. I met Jill, oh my gosh, a couple of years ago now, when I was in a container. We were in a container together. She was a guest first. And I missed her first call. And I remember being so upset, but like not realizing why. Your first call in Sarah's container, I remember being like, why am I so mad I'm missing this? And I had something that I couldn't like not go to. Like I couldn't cancel it. I couldn't come up with an excuse. Like it was just too late. And I was like, why am I so upset by this? And then I remember watching the replay and I was like, oh.
Right. I taught about money, and I did an intuitive read for everybody, and I told them where they were stuck and gave them a tool. And so, but you did the activation and you got an intuitive read leaders.
Yeah. So it did come full circle, and watching that replay, I was like, oh, I get now why I have this feeling. And there's just some people that I meet that I'm like, whether I know I'm going to meet them like soon or like get close to them, I'm like, no, this person's like just meant to be in my life. I can't tell you why, couldn't explain it, but like that's just the feeling that I got. I'm like, no, like don't worry, it's good. Jill's gonna come back around, and she did. The next week she happened to come on, so I was like, perfect, here she is.
Tash literally manifested that. I was like, dang, we didn't have time for the activation to 3 hours of reads, and I was like, why don't I just I'll gift you guys an activation, I'll come back. And it was beautiful. Yeah, what you're speaking to is soul contracts, which if we have time we'll get into. We have soul contracts, guys. People we're supposed to impact in one way or another, or maybe multiple ways, but when we don't follow the soul path, we literally gyp them of soul contracts. So anyways, so glad that you were able to make that second call live. And then we met in person. You tell this story.
Yes. So this is also just, divine circles closing, I feel like, was a lot of what our like first meeting and like interactions were. So I came on the live call, and then on that call at the end, Sarah was mentioning like she was doing an in-person event, and then you were like, oh, I'm going to be in Calgary at that time. And I'm like, perfect, this is great. And then I was trying to find a ride there. And I remember you were also trying to find a ride there. And unbeknownst to me, we had also messaged the same person for a ride. And I remember we pulled up to, I think it was your parents' house. And I just remember being like, oh, this is good shit. Like, excuse my French, but like that one was like, oh yeah, no, shit, we're meant to be friends. Like I'm meant to know her. This is gonna be great. And I remember so many times we were talking in the car, and like I forget what exactly, it was like talking about soul contracts and like walking soul path and like what that is. And I remember just absolutely whipping my head around like, I'm sorry, did you just like step into my brain and like do we know each other from like before? I was like just floored. It was one of those, I was like, oh, okay, this is gonna be really good. And I was like, oh, okay. And then you started talking about soul contracts and walking soul path, and I was like, oh, that's why I'm supposed to know you. You're supposed to help me get just learn to walk pretty much. And so
can I just interject really quickly? Yes. Like, it's so interesting because I almost didn't go that day. I was like not feeling great. And I was just, honestly, it was just like really busy with the Christmas season. I think Sarah and I had done like a ceremony like a few days before. Something, my nervous system, like I was tired. And I was like, no, Jill, like pull yourself together. Like you're going to go. And I was like, okay, hire yourself. If I'm meant to go, like somebody will pick me up. Cause I can't remember how I was supposed to get there, but my ride fell through. And anyways, um, yeah, Taylor ended up messaging and I was like, okay. And then you were like talking and I'm like, oh, like you're an intuitive. Like, you're like, well, I don't know if I can do this for work. I'm like, no, this is like your gift. And you're like sharing stories. I'm like, you're a very gifted intuitive. Like, this is your soul path. Like,
I felt so called out. It was like when like somebody catches you, like they open the changing room door thinking it's empty and it's definitely not empty, and you're like just in your underwear and you're like, oh hi, hey, how's it going?
I'm like,
What's going on?
the spiritual closet. But that's it. Your soul knew. Your soul, I mean, hearing some of your stories and like, you know, intuitive guidance you've had, hits you've had, like you're an old soul. You have a lot of wisdom in your Akashic records, which for those who don't know, the Akashic records stole all the wisdom from past lives. So like our soul's age is very different than our 3D age. And I'm like, dang, this girl is like has some radical wisdom encoded in her Akashic records and body. And I'm like, like, you know, like you can do this as a soul path. Like you don't need to do like
to do this.
job.
I'm like, oh, people will pay me.
Yeah.
What? That
like,
seems foreign. Can we talk about this some more?
Yeah. And I'm like, look at use my path as evidence. Like I never did not choose this path consciously, but it and our soul path is the highest timeline of abundance anyways, but it's also the scariest path, and usually you don't know where the money's going to come and then it just pops.
Yeah. And
like,
it's something my dad can attest to this when we're younger. So it was grade 7 graduation, and yes, I have a little fidget toy because that's how nervous I am. My little squishy. I feel like Dory from Nemo with him. I'm like, it's my little squishy. I take him everywhere. But they ask you, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Like, what do you want to do? All of these things. And the only answer I could give was, I just want to wake up and not feel like I have to work.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to help people was really the only answer I could give. Was like, I just want to help people. Like, you come to me with your problems and I'm like, okay, I can help you here, here, and here. You got to go to this person for this thing. Like, we got to do X, Y, Z. Like, I'm like, that's just what I want to do. And people looked at me like I had 14 heads and was Medusa on all of them. Like,
because, well, this is evidence your soul knew when you were a child. Like, when people think you're crazy, you know you're on soul path. Like, that is actually indicative of, oh, I'm doing this right.
mm-hmm.
And when people project on you, you know you're going through a quantum leap. We won't talk about the 33% rule right now. I'm actually going to do another live on that with somebody else. But basically, that's another fear of being seen, is that people won't like you, or that you'll trigger their shadow, or that you're like not living in the matrix that they're living in. Like your soul knows there's something beyond. And there's this rule, Tash, where it's a cosmic law. I shouldn't say rule. I hate the word rule. Cosmic law with a capital L, which means a real law, not a man-made law with a lowercase l. Anywho, where you've already been doing this for like all of your jobs. People would come to you for advice, and you're giving them intuitive psychic advice just like for free, and you're so magnetic and like making other businesses money. And so when we start a practice, for example, like when we have a practice, that becomes like the exchange. But there's a law that like our clients are already there. It's just, had you been giving them free advice at somebody else's business, or are you actually doing an energy exchange where they're also going to apply the tool now and respect you and respect the advice? Because when we're just giving so freely to like strangers, they most of the time they're not going to respect that piece of wisdom, which also fissures like our relationship with source and our higher self, because our higher self is like, protect this wisdom. There needs to be an energy exchange in order for that to be respected and taken out and their life to shift, and for them to strengthen their relationship with source. So like, you've been doing these intuitive reads and guidance for a long, long, long time. It's just, and I was listening to your story, I'm like, you know, this is like a career. Like, Anyways,
Yeah,
so
learning that.
yeah. So we're on the car ride. That happens. Yeah, I'll let you take the reins.
Yeah, so that happens, and like part of that evening, we'd all kind of like gone around and talked a little bit about kind of what was on like our minds, our hearts, like things that we just kind of wanted to share and maybe that we'd never shared before. And in that moment, I was like, I just know that I can read people like an open book. Like, you can try and hide from me all you want. In certain situations, I'll respect it. I'll let you just hide behind your little wall. It's very cute, like adorable. I see you, but like, okay, we'll let you be there for a minute. But you can't you can't hide from me. Even if I just met you 5 minutes ago, I know you. And you don't have to try and prove yourself to me because I can see through it whether you choose to believe that I can or not. And that's something I'm really leaning into now, is not apologizing for it.
Yeah.
I don't need to explain it to you.
No.
I don't owe you anything, quite frankly. And one of the biggest things I've learned this year is if I trigger you, I'm really sorry, but that's not my responsibility.
It's a gift when you trigger people. And I totally get this because I realized I'm afraid of looking people in the eye directly for too long most of the time because I'm like, oh no, I can see through their soul, and they get so uncomfortable. And I've started doing it now more so, and I'm like, no, I'm just gonna own this. I'm not gonna say anything, but it freaked people out.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, let me just like have this super bubbly personality and pretend like I don't see anything. And I'm like, I see everything. And I am very bubbly, but it's like, how do I actually contain this and ground it and come into my power? Because it can be really confronting to other people and also ourselves, you know, when we're intuiting like what's actually going on in the field, in the energy field, and you're like seeing people's shadows and their blind spots and where they're stopped and all of these things. Like, it's a blessing, and like, I don't want to say a curse, but it comes with, it's a double-edged sword. And so you triggering them though is actually activating their shadow. Us having hard conversations, for example, we're like, oh, what if we lose that connection? What if the person exits my life? Well, so be it. But usually they actually don't. Usually they just start to respect you more. This has been a big lesson for me of like having these difficult conversations, which is also the capacity of our nervous system, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But it's you're actually, if you're triggering them and your presence is triggering them, it's actually a gift, because that trigger is gold. I have a module in one of my courses called Gold Digger Triggers, and it's literally about like the trigger is the shadow. It's a part of ourselves we've disowned, or that we're judging in somebody else, which is AKA still something we've disowned. Mm-hmm. And when we don't like, when somebody's triggered by our presence, or if we speak truth into a field of distortion, that can be very triggering, because the truth will always illuminate the lie. The distortion's a lie. And it'll crumble people's paradigms, like limiting paradigms. And that can be painful, because it's like they live their whole life by that, right? It's like literally a death of the ego, and the identity and all of the things. And so that is like one of the biggest gifts. And this is where the biggest activation happens. And this is why people hire you for this, because it's like they don't want to hide. They don't hire somebody that's just gonna like even me, my clients don't hire me. My students don't study with me because I'm like, oh, everything's perfect and like sunshine and butterflies. It's like, no, I can hold a mirror, a divine mirror, and I can see your blind spots, and you can say it with grace and zero judgment. But I can show you and guide you of where you're stuck. And the duality of life, I can also hold. Like, a lot of, you know, when people are like passing or in the hospital, like, I'm not somebody who's like, oh yeah, just pretend like it's all amazing. Like, yes, their soul chose that, and I can also hold space for it. So this is why people are like gifted, A, to be in your presence, but also to work with you, because you not only can see their truth, but you're literally activating them because of your soul wisdom, and because you're actually walking this path. You're not just saying you want to walk it. Like anybody, talk is cheap. Just like when in Soul Sales September, I'm coaching you, and then I like, am I going to walk the walk that I just coached Tasha on? And I have been walking it, but like, I was like, oh, here's a next level opportunity. And I did. And I'm so glad I did. Holy Toledo. But like, it's like talk is cheap. And so when people are walking the walk, this is where like mentorship or like in-person events like really activate people. It's not what is like taught necessarily. And the modalities, yes, those are very important. But the most important factor is this person activating you? And so I invite you to like look at it as like you're activating people and that they're actually blessed to be in your presence and to receive that activation, that divine mirror from you, because that's where they've been stuck. And
it's something I've learned a lot too, not to cut you off, but I know a lot of people, and I get this a lot with women, is a lot of women when they get to know me, they're like, you're so intimidating. And I get that from men a lot too. Like, you're so intimidating. And I'm like, okay, bro, I'm 5'5", 145 pounds. Like, I'm a, yes, I'm Italian, but I am not intimidating. I just don't have time for BS.
Yeah.
You're not gonna lie to my face, and you're not gonna pull a fast one on me. And so if that's intimidating to you, that I will call you out and will not let things fly, that's not intimidating. That's real. That's a real friend. That's an honest person. I said, I'm not a yes man.
And this is it, because most people are hiding in the shadows. They're people pleasing, they're in fawn, and it's not only you embodying this, it's also like all the wisdom that you've carried. And that's why this is where we're all very intuitive, but the soul remembers all the experiences. So when we have a kind of like deeper soul remembrance, like deeper, we've gone through more initiations in past lives and this life, there is a remembrance of this. And so it's like a deeper kind of intuition. It's a deeper mirror. And it's also like the paradigm that the Matrix has been telling you, as it told me for my whole life, it still is, but here we are, that our gifts are bad. Our intuition is bad. Our seeing through the BS is bad because it threatens the whole system. But we're here to threaten the system. We're here to help free souls. We're here to help people thrive. And so I get the intimidating as well. Like, I was so confused, actually, even a few months ago, because I'm like, I get it in ceremony. Like, I can be, it's like my presence shifts, like, or like in a session, right? Or like when I'm facilitating a retreat. Like, you've experienced it in real life. You've experienced us like hanging out.
Yeah.
Like, in the car,
and I get that. Like, when I'm in a business meeting, when I'm running something, like when I'm doing that, yes, I am on. I am very much in my masculine. Like, I am a very different person than hanging out and going shopping with my girlfriends or grabbing, happy hour. But realizing that I'm like, no, I'm not intimidating. You're intimidated by the fact that I can call you out, and you can't hide from that because I'm right. And that's something that a lot of people like, you're so cocky. Because I'm like, no, I know I'm right. Like, you can't tell me I'm wrong. But I'm very open to when I am wrong, when I need to learn things. But there are certain times where I will look at you and like, no, you can't tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care what you try and say, what you try and prove. Like, go ahead and lie to yourself. But like, you're the one who has to look in the mirror at the end of the day and be okay with that reflection. I'm good with mine.
Yeah.
How are you with yours?
100%. And this is where it's like, it's your, like, that presence, like, they can feel it. And it's like, it's so interesting because, like, we'll take the retreat, for example, like, at, like, dinners and, like, meals, like, I'm, like, so chill, like, I'm, like, kind of how I'm in, like, right now, right? And then it, like, shifts, and we have to be able to, as facilitators, to be able to do that. But here's the thing. Even when the reason you intimidate people, and this was a reflection that I actually tracked for myself, so I'll share this with you, because I actually like called a few of my male friends and I'm like, am I intimidating? I'm very confused because person said it, like, and they're like, yeah, Jill, because and I'm like, what? Like, I don't get it. And they're like, it's your presence, like, it's your presence is intimidating. And it's because they know, they can sense that we can see beyond just the 3D and the acts and all of this stuff. And that's scary, but it's the biggest gift. It's the biggest gift. Okay, so let's let's continue with the story. So
So yeah, I was sharing basically how like this is what I just keep feeling called to do, but like I don't know how to not necessarily wrap it up and put it on a bow, but how do I now turn this into something that I'm actually doing? Yes, charging money, but my brain doesn't go to that, or didn't go to that right away, because I'm like, okay, well, I didn't come for money, so it's not necessarily about the money. And it's been a new shift now, especially after the retreat, and I'll share that in a second. But it was this idea of like, okay, well, how do I go and present this? Like, what do I say I do? Because I'm not like a life coach, because that's, no offense to
yeah,
people who are life coaches. The title for me just felt very corny for what I did. Now,
yeah,
people can be that, that's no problem. But for what I'm doing and what I want to do and how I would describe it, it would be like, think of me like your big sister in your pocket at all times.
yeah,
Like the person you go to when you don't really know who else to go to about a certain topic. It's the topic that you want to go to your best friend about, but you don't really know if your best friend can relate to that feeling or understands that. So you come to me. Like I've called it Tash Talks, and I feel like yes, I have done this my whole life, because in high school there used to be like this joke where if you had a problem, you came to Tash, and we'd go to Starbucks and back in that little walk, and I would have solved your life problems.
you've been doing this your whole freaking life.
I used to only charge a Starbucks coffee. Prices have been raised, but that's a whole
Thank
private
God.
conversation. It's a lot more than a coffee
It's
now.
and when you said it's not, I don't think like in this, it's never like, I always say I will never do anything just for money.
Yeah.
There's so much distortion around this. Like,
Because it's like if you took away the money, I'd still do it. Like that's
yeah,
where my brain comes from. Because it's like, no, it's not about the money. Because if you took my ability to make money away from this, I'd still want to do it. I'd still be
exactly.
this passionate. I would still want to help people the way I do, with, and being compensated for it financially.
And that is the soul path. That's when you know you're on soul path. If you would do it for free,
Yeah.
we're charging a because we need to be resourced. Money is the fuel that keeps everything moving. And even more so, it's them choosing themselves. It's a sacred initiation of I am investing in myself because I'm worth it, and I'm going to apply the tools, and I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
shift my identity in this investment. I just did an Instagram live a couple days ago with a dear sister, Nikki. We talked about the difference between like
Yes.
just like teaching and coaching
Mm-hmm.
versus mentorship, high level like masterminds, close
Yeah.
proximity, even retreats. Like there is a different energy. It's power to power versus like just teacher student. And so it's the the people who have invested in themselves and typically like especially that have, I mean, I would say like start with like learning and coaching and then like mentorship and masterminds and like retreat. I mean, you can start with a retreat too, but are like higher level because they get that the investment is like them choosing themselves. Like I just invested, like as you know, like more than I've ever invested in one payment. I actually made 2 investments back to back, and I was like, shit, like how is this coming back? Like I have bills to pay next month for my business
Yep.
and living and and I'm like, I'm also not pulling from my soul fund or my investments or whatever. And like, of course, like the money came like shortly after I made the investment, but this is always how it works. But I'm like, I am choosing this because it was a mastermind with like people who are ahead of me. And I want, like, I'm shifting my identity. Like, I am choosing this. Like, if I were to like just explain how to create your life in a sentence, it is like choose, just
Yeah.
choose yourself, choose that identity. That's it. But
Mm-hmm.
people are so scared because of the constructs, and I get it, it's scary. So it's like, it's for anybody listening, like if you're like, I'm a healer, I'm an intuitive, I want to help the world, I do somatic work, I
Mm-hmm.
teach XYZ, I do sound healing, I sell bowls, I'm just thinking of like things that are coming to mind. Well, you have to look at the investment, like, because there can be guilt of like, I shouldn't be charging for this. Um, it's not for you, babes. You're charging so that they actually value the information. Because the amount of times I've given like gold of like, I would give one nugget of like, I would give somebody like so much gold and they wouldn't do anything. And then people would like invest in a private session, which is 4 figures. And like, I'd give them one piece of that thing to like one tool, and that would shift the trajectory of their life because they value it, they invest in it. And so, you definitely, yeah.
Yeah, we've shifted that, but we'll get into that.
We'll get into that. Okay.
But so that kind of happened, and I remember just like, you know, having that connection with you, and then I started following you on like Instagram more, and I started just like, everything was kind of connecting. I remember when you first posted about the retreat, and I was just like, this immediate, you're going. And I'm like, I remember just being like, yeah, okay, sure, no problem, whatever. Looked at it, laughed, because I was like, oh yeah, no, sure, yeah, I'm going, yeah, okay. You kept posting, and I saw it every time. It was like every time I opened my Instagram, every time I opened my email, I was like, all right, cool, closing soon, get in now, pay your deposit. Yep, just keep on going. Like it's like I had to kick down this sign. It's like I was walking down the road and there was a sign every 3 feet, and you had to physically kick down the sign to keep going, and I was just trekking along and just kicking them down, like going down, no, keep going. And then you had posted, it was like, that's it, you know, you have till this day. If you don't say anything, too bad, so sad, cry your own river. And I was like, how are you going to make this happen?
And it wasn't even that long of a, well,
no,
like
we're talking like a 3-week span between like getting the first email, and then like actually getting into it.
Towards closing.
So I
was pushed to
yeah, because you had shared like they had changed it and you had to fill it up, and so I was
like, oh, we're launching the retreat now.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, okay. Like, I guess you gotta figure it out. And I just remember, like, I kept thinking to myself, like, why? Like, girl, you got bills to pay. You ain't got this kind of money. You really don't. So how do you think this is happening? So I was like, okay, screw it. I'm gonna try my best to keep my creative language not as creative.
I think I did an intuitive, I remember I was like, for anybody interested, I will give you a free intuitive read, and I'll
I had seen that within the first 60 seconds of you posting it. I think I'd opened the story and it said 45 seconds ago, and it was immediately typing. Like you were talking, I was like, and then it was like, I got that. And I was like, okay. So I messaged you and I was like, hey, so been just kind of slapped in the face for about the last 3 weeks with this retreat. I have no idea how I'm going to make this happen, but something tells me like I really need to be there. So what could I possibly humanly, physically do to get my foot in the door? I will crawl, I'll swim from Vancouver to Victoria. I will swim there. You let me know. I'll carry your bags. I'll do anything. Like, what can I do? I'll sweep the floor. I don't care. Let me know what I can do, because I really don't know why, but I really need to be there.
Yeah.
So as it all works out, it all worked out for me to somehow have enough days off for work, the exact amount of days I needed. Nobody else was off. And I was like, okay, well, I guess we're doing this. And then you had needed how you had posted, you're like, I need someone to come a little earlier.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll like gift you like an intuitive read after. And the second I saw your name, I was like, yeah, me, hi, hello, I'll figure it out.
Because Nicole's passport, and then I was like, oh no. And then a friend from here almost helped. Anyways, and like, again, that's an initiation for me. And then you literally manifested that, right? Because you got the session.
Yeah. I was like, no, this is going to happen. Immediately picked up the phone, called my uncle, and I said, I know you're not doing anything on this day. I need you to be at YVR at this time. You need to drive me from here to here. Yeah. I'll pay for your gas. I don't want any questions. Like, I need you to show up, and I just need a ride. Got there. Now, this part is where it gets so fun. So, Jill had messaged me the day before and said, hey babe, like I have your ferry, like I have a second ferry ticket, so like just meet me at the terminal, I'll pick you up, because she was driving. I was like, perfect, this is great. So get dropped off at the terminal, and I go to where they sell the tickets. Now, mind you, these people are behind a booth. There is no barricade, no security guard, no scanner to go up the escalator. So I just put my head up, rolled my shoulders back, and I said, Jill's going to be on that side. So what am I going to do? I'm going to get my butt to that side. So I walked in and I was like, oh, this way to this terminal or wherever we were going. And they're like, yep, just this way. I'm like, perfect, thank you. Walked all the way over, walked across the pedestrian bridge, over all the cars, and right to the side, literally like 15 feet from where we start boarding. And I called Jill, I'm like, hey, I'm here. And she's like, okay. And she's literally pulling up to the ticket lady as she's saying, like, yeah, my friend is over there. And this lady is so confused, and I can hear her. She's like, what do you mean she's over there without a ticket? How did she get, like, this woman was so concerned with my ability to get somewhere without a ticket. And I was like, lady, you don't, like, this is not YVR. Like, this is a ferry terminal. It's not that deep. It's okay. Yeah. She was like so confused. And I'm like, Jill, just tell her you have a ticket for yourself and keep driving. Like, don't worry.
This was so crazy because I pre-bought the ticket. I'm like, I have her ticket. She's over there. She's like, how's she over there? And she's like freaking out at me. And then she's like, well, I'm going to refund you because she has to get her ticket. And then and I'm like, no, she's already there. Like, and she ended up refunding me.
Yeah. So I'm like, Jill, let her refund you. Like, let her refund you. Just make sure you have your ticket. It's fine. Like, I'm saying this over the phone as I can hear this woman like freaking out. And I'm like, it's not that deep, lady. And so I find Jill and like made all these friends walking around. I was petting all the dogs. It was great. Like, nobody asked me a thing. Because here is the, like, I don't want to call it a trick, but here's what most people don't do. If you act like you don't belong there, then you don't belong there. But when you act like you belong there, no one's going to question why you're there, and no one questioned me. I said, no, my girlfriend's going to be here. I'm getting on that ferry. So if I need to be over there, I'm just going to, over here? Cool. I'm just going to go over there then. Thank you. Bye. Like,
and you manifested that. You manifested the gifted session for helping me because a bunch of people messaged, and it was that you were like, me. It's this energy. Like, it's this energy that you manifested the days off, like, and we'll talk about what happened at the retreat and then all the miracles after. But guys, listen to her. She's embodying this work. The energy of like, I don't know how, and I'm choosing. And because of this, I am choosing, I am worthy, I'm going to show up in this energy. And because of this, the universe rearranges in her favor. Because a number of people were like, I'll come early, I'll help you. And I'm like, Tasha already got it. Love you guys. See you, like, we'll see you at the retreat. Yeah. And then you were like, I really wanted a private session, and like,
yeah, and I was just like, this is mine.
So like, we don't need to know the how. The how is not our responsibility, but the choice and the identity shift. And Tash is become a living embodiment of this, a transmission of this. This is the way to literally create the life that we desire. And it's been so cool to like watch your journey, and like, yeah, we'll talk. Okay.
Yeah, we'll get to the closing of the circle from this, but it's really, and I didn't realize it until I started like looking back at the retreat and like reflecting on those moments, was like, that was really the start of it. Was like, no, I just walked over there. I said, nope, my girlfriend's going to be here. I just need to walk over to her car. And I'm not like, I'm not paying for a ticket. She said she has one for me. So why would I go buy a second one? They're like, oh, okay. I'm like, cool. Bye. Yeah. Turns out didn't need to pay for it because I was just meant to be at the retreat. So I got myself a nice free ferry ride. It was fantastic.
Oh my God, it was so good.
And it was just like setting everything up. And I remember like we got there and I could tell that you were just like, you had so many things going in your head. And I just looked at you and I said, okay, before we like you walk out of this car, just tell me what I need to do and I'm going to go do that. Because whatever I can't do for you, you're obviously going to do. So just let me know and like, go do your thing. Yeah. You don't need to go tell me where you are. I just tell me what I need to do and let me go do it. and then you go do whatever you need to.
Yeah.
And I remember, first of all, it was so hot in the hut. I was sweating buckets.
God.
But it was just like, not that I blacked out, but it was just like such a fun moment where I was just like, yep, no, do, like putting everything up and setting everyone's like little stations up with the blankets and all the things. And like, I just wanted all to be like, people were coming home and they just felt like very comforted and very homey, and like they could just sit there and they had their own little space. And so I had so much fun just being able to do that. And like, I love helping people. And I love helping people in a way where it's like, hey, you're really good at XYZ. Why don't you hand me the rest of the alphabet and you go do what you're really good at, and I will take the rest of this. Like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And it would just be like, there were these moments where you would turn and I could tell you were trying to figure out like what to ask me or how to ask me. And I was like,
delegate.
don't. I'm like, I look, you would literally, because I would sit. So Jill would be like right here, like let's pretend I was like sitting and like everyone else was like fanned around her, but I was to her very right. But at times she would sit a little bit higher, so like I would be in her blind spot, so she'd have to turn to like look at me because I'd be like right next to the speaker, right next to the laptop,
all the tech stuff,
all the things. And before she would turn, I'd already just be there like, yep, I got it, let me know when you're ready. And she wouldn't have even said anything, and I was like, no, like, you're good. Do you need anything else? Do you want a water? Like, are we okay?
For people who are like, what are they talking about? So basically the retreat is, and early bird is open right now for applications for next round, FYI. But the retreat is it's in this like beautiful resort essentially, and then there's a yurt where we do like the breath work, the activations, the somatic body work, like all the things. But last year, like the year before, I had like multiple hours to set up, and like I had like men to help me set up, and it's like a whole thing. It's not just like you arrive and like, it's like, no, I had to assign rooms to people. We had to set up the full yurt. Like the mattresses are like real mattresses. They're not like a breathwork mat. They're like mattresses. There's blankets. There's the sound system. I had to set up all my healing tools. Like it was like, and we had like an hour because we couldn't do it as early as last year because they were like doing a ceremony and the year before. So like we get there and I'm like, I don't know where to start. There's so much to do and people are arriving. And then it was again an initiation for me. And then all these people were having issues getting there with flights and all of this. And I was trying to navigate all of it. And I was like, finally, like I'm surrendering, like source, get people here who are supposed to be here. I had another woman, Nicole, she came virtually, but her passport had expired. She was supposed to help me set up. So like, that's where I was like, guys, I need help. Like whoever is helping, and Tasha jumped on that. But, yeah, this is the process of initiation. Like it's not, if you're on path, it's not gonna be sunshine and butterflies. And like, if you take one piece of wisdom from all of this, choose your reality, choose to put yourself in the room, and that's your identity and you're worth it. And initiations will come up. That's where you grow. Part of what I've struggled with is surrendering and delegating certain things. And so, of course, the initiation was like, Jill, we can't get here. Jill, this flight's delayed. Jill, this. And I'm like, God, I'm surrendering. Tasha, I'm surrendering. Like, I'm like, please help with the sound system because I don't know what's going on. And that's been my work. And so the work works through us, but it's not meant to be the soul path. Like this is where we grow. The universe, as we choose a new identity and to step into our power, to our purpose, and like create higher levels of abundance, higher levels of intimacy. Like I remember in a past relationship, every time I was like, I desire to be closer to this person, boom, a problem appeared. The problem is the portal to more intimacy. I desire next level of abundance. Great. Here's some initiations with money. Like how learning deeper nuances on money. Like how much do I really believe in source as the provider and that I'm infinitely abundant? How much do I really believe in healing? And so
it was so funny. I looked at you when you were like freaking out about everybody's flights, and like I could just see like you were spiraling, and I just remember like looking over and I'm like, hey, and you're like, yeah, and I could just see like all of these things because like I was also in the group, like I could see all the messages. I was still setting up, and I go, do you have a private jet right now? And you're like, no. And I was like, okay, so great. You can't solve the problem, so let's stop worrying about it. Let's just get set up. And when people come here, we'll be set up. And then guess what? They'll be here. Because we don't have a private jet, so we can't solve this problem right now. So we're just gonna go with it. We're gonna go with, as I'm like dripping in sweat, being like, let's just get this done, and then let's worry about everyone else in a minute. Like, I just want to survive. I also need to change. Like, so like and it was that shift, and we just kind of like, okay,
we're like surrendering. They'll get here when they get here. I know it's so crazy. The year before, 3 people arrived late because a car broke down. Long story, but that was such a big lesson for me because I used to think I was responsible for other people's initiations. And as I've become more of an embodied leader, it's actually, I'm like, no, I have to let them walk through the initiations. Like I did with you. I mean, before the retreat too. So we forgot about this part. I'm about to board a plane to Austin. I remember distinctly. I was like sitting in the lounge. Task messages me. She's freaking out. She's signed up for retreat.
yes.
She made 2 payments. She's like freaking out that like the money's not going to come. Oh my God, did I make the bad decision? Blah, blah, blah. And I remember like, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna like tell her basically what's going on energetically and like give her a tool and let her make her own decision, but like basically hold her accountable and say, this is an initiation and this is your ego. And if you really want to like shift this and step in to your next level of abundance, to your purpose, like this is the path. It's not, you got to bet on yourself. And so, and I was like, I think I was like, well, you don't need to come if you don't want to, but I would love you there and your soul wants you to be there. And like, I can't give your deposit back. Like I've already paid the retreat center. So like, and then you used the tool and then you came and then you manifested that free session. And then, okay, let's jump to, so these are the initiations on this path, guys. I want you guys to see it, even if it's as a facilitator, because some people are watching this and you're a facilitator, you will go through your own initiations. Mm-hmm. I mean, the retreat every freaking year, it's like I had 2 weeks to fill this thing. Otherwise, there was a lot of money on the line, and I was just, long story, I would have just done a smaller retreat and rented part of the space, but these initiations are really where we grow, and this is where most people collapse or they like try and back out. And I'm like, no, you're on path. The live I did with my friend Nikki the other day, I met her at an event a few weeks ago. It was a female entrepreneurship event, and I lost my voice right before the event. My flight got canceled. My layover flight got canceled as we're about to board the plane, and then they told me there was no other flights, and I had a little breakdown, and then I was like, no, we're gonna figure this out. And I had to book a different flight. It's a long story, but basically I met her at that, and she like, I was like kind of keeping to myself, because when I go to events and like learn, I do keep to myself unless I feel really like I'm an introvert. Anyway, she started talking to me and realized I had basically no voice. That's why I wasn't talking a lot. But then we became friends, and we're like, we got to do a live. She's awesome. But like, I was like, I haven't slept in like 2 days. I got there at like 2 a.m. Like it was like a whole thing. I had to be up at like 6:30 or 6 the next day. And I knew when my flight got canceled, I'm like, this is another sign, like I need to be there. It's not like, oh, not meant to be. Like, yeah, you're just giving your power away. If you're being called to something, expect initiations.
And I had like that whole crash out with my boyfriend too, and I was like, oh my God, like did I do the wrong thing? And like, I shouldn't have done this, and like, oh my God, like what if what I can't pay my bills and all of this. And I just remember him looking at me like, do you want to go? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, okay, then we'll go. Like, what are you freaking out about? Like, and it was just like when logic meets emotion, and I just like got hard-walled by logic, and I was like, you're right. Okay.
You manifested a good man. Actually, he manifested you. Here, let's switch the verbiage. You attracted a good man.
I really did. Really did. And like, that was a whole other. That was how many months before the retreat? 6-ish months.
So beautiful. Okay, so okay. So at the retreat, So at the retreat, I'm just going to tell the close notes and then you can pitch in. So we did a lot of somatic exercises because that's where the needle really shifts, and it's really how we show up in our body and our energy field that determines our reality, right? The different arc lines, our energy body and our physical somatic body. And so Tash went all in. She did freaking phenomenal. And I remember like this one exercise where we were like, and like I think during the breath work, like I don't know, you had all these visions and like just more gifts are getting activated, which are your innate gifts and for your soul path. And then this one somatic exercise where basically we walk in a certain presence and I go adjust people's bodies and I go meh when they're not doing it right and they go back because they're like putting on a facade, which is not power, it's false power, and we're about true inner power. And so I remember like adjusting your body and just like trauma like leaving your body in tears, and like you like dropped in and I was like, this is the power. And then when you left the retreat, all these people were like looking at you, you were magnetizing people, you're like, oh my God, all these compliments. You started asking for what you desired at work. And I mean, if you want to share about can I tell the car?
Yeah, absolutely.
You like freaking manifested a car.
My dream place, my
Your
kitchen.
dream place.
Yeah.
You and freaking Karen both dream houses.
Yeah.
Wow. Yes.
A lot.
What's so crazy? Karina from the year before also manifested her dream house. So if you want your dream house and you're not already living in it, come to the retreat.
Come to the retreat.
May 2026.
Yeah. Disclaimer: work required to obtain.
Work required initiations, but they're so worth it.
It was crazy because that was my first time doing breath work, like any kind of somatic work. Like, quick backstory. Yeah. I have gone through a lot of very formalized like counseling and different forms of that, and like cognitive behavioral therapy and EMDR and all of this. And I didn't realize I did not use the word trauma a lot in my life until probably 5-ish years ago, when I remember kind of sharing my story a little bit with one of like, a girlfriend who I'm still very close with now. And it was just kind of one of those things. And I remember just not blacking out for it, but I looked up and she looked at me like, I'm sorry. How did you just say all of that? So casually, as if that was nothing. And I'm like, but what do you, like, that was nothing, lady. Like, yeah. That was life. Yeah. To me, that was nothing. She goes, how do you feel about the word trauma? And I'm like, okay, I know about it, like traumatic car accidents, like, or traumatic injuries. Like, I'm like, yeah, maybe I've had some brain trauma from a concussion. That's where my head went. Yeah, I've had trauma from a concussion. And she goes, I say this because I love you, but no, honey, you've had a lot more trauma, not from a concussion. And I'm like, oh.
Like, what's that?
What's that? Like, what do you mean? Like, that's not normal? No one does that? Like, you're telling me, like, most 11-year-olds don't run a business 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, and then take care of 3 children and a house? Oh. I thought every oldest sibling just learned how to take care of
every child's just as the caregiver, the mom, and your body's like, I'm holding on to this.
Yeah, and I'm
like, we're all Gucci. The body's
like, you live at home and you don't have to pay bills? And I'm like, what? I was like, oh, like, I pay most of the household bills. There's 5 of us. And they're like, oh. And I was like, and I make as much as you do. Which was like peanuts then. I was working at Starbucks for like 50, 60 hours a week. I remember my last week, I worked like 107 hours.
Wow.
And it was like, I'm just doing this so I can afford groceries for a family of 5, so I can make sure rent is paid on time, so like I can do all of these things. And I never realized how much guilt I was holding on, and all of this responsibility and things that were placed onto me that were never really mine, until that breath work, when it was such a not out of body experience and crazy, but it was just this moment where it was like, you know what? It's okay to put yourself first. Like,
Yeah.
you're not being selfish, because that's what I was always told. Like, putting
Yeah.
yourself first and taking care of yourself is selfish. When I decided to move provinces, I won't say who, but there was a rumor going around that I abandoned my family, that I didn't care about anybody anymore, and that I was being selfish because I just
Yeah.
wanted to live my life. And I'm like, damn right. I gave my life up already for everything else, and now I'd like to live it for me on my own
Okay.
terms.
We have to talk about this for a hot moment, if you don't mind, and then we'll
Yes.
continue the story because this is so important, Tash. So you basically woke up to the awareness that your body keeps a score. And so
Yeah.
many people are trying to do this mind manipulation. And like, I want to scream from the rooftops. Your mind can think you're okay, because I have a similar story to Tash, and my body was carrying so much trauma, which is stuck energy. And trauma is a samskar. It's literally just stuck energy, but it causes health issues, and it causes us to, quote, not put ourselves first. And I'll explain. This is the biggest spiritual lesson on the planet right now, is actually to put yourself first. Make sure your cup is filled, and then offer services from there. Offer your presence from there. And the biggest distortion is to put everybody else first. It's a fawn response. It is a trauma response. And society benefits off of it. The people that were saying you abandoned them were benefiting off of you putting yourself last. This is the shadow of the mother archetype, is putting everybody else ahead of us, and it breeds resentment. It causes breast cancer. It causes liver issues. It causes health issues. It causes huge relationship issues. And so what basically happened, Tasha's talking about in the breath work, is her body was like, oh my God, the paradigm that I have to put everybody else first, and that's a good thing, crumbled. Because the trauma in the body, the wisdom of the soul was like, no, 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 no. You first now. It is your time. And this is your highest pathway of abundance, of service as well. Service for sleep by filling your own cup, and then with a full cup being of service to others and humanity, which is not fawning, which was like exactly my initiation to retreat, not taking everybody else's responsibilities or figuring out their flight got canceled, this and this and this. I'm like, oh, I need to actually, this is their sacred initiation. I need to worry about the space and everything else. And like, thank you for illuminating that, because that was a deeper embodiment of my leadership. And realizing, oh, right, like it was another layer of the mother, the shadow of the mother, which we have layers of this. And when we have things as a child, we think that reality is normal. Like Tash had no idea that her as a child paying all these bills was not normal. I had my own story with that, not necessarily paying bills, but other story. And I just thought that was normal until I realized it wasn't normal. And what happened in the breath work as well, and this is why somatic work is so important, but not just somatic work. Like in Jai breath work, it's a mixture of shamanic breath work, trauma healing, and soul reclamation, is that you actually claimed soul fragments back from those experiences when you abandon yourself. Because when we put others first before ourselves, and when we fawn, and when we people please, all these trauma responses, a piece, every time we sacrifice ourselves for somebody else, a piece of our soul and our light body gets left there. And then our light body, which is how we create, how we manifest, starts to disintegrate and dissolve. Sorry, not disintegrate, dissolve. It starts to get weak because there's pieces dispersed all over in past experiences with other people. They're like hooks, siphoning energy, the whole shebang. So what you did in that breath work, obviously not consciously, but the way it's run is your body was like, whoa, we got to process this, and we have to learn the soul lesson and integrate it, not in the mind, let me put myself first and then continue the pattern because now I know it, but I'm not embodying it. Because you had to claim those soul fragments back to be like, no, now I'm going to start putting myself first. And that is scary. And people are going to be angry because they're benefiting off me not. And you claimed your soul back. You claimed your soul path. You claimed your energetic power. And there is no way, like if anybody finds a way, please DM me and let me know, because trust me, I've tried everything. This is why, like, I don't want to say preach by like Jai breath work, but like it has been the most powerful modality for me because it's the deepest integration of the shadow as well, our shadow work. Because as I said, the mother archetype of the shadow side of that, which is where we get trapped and runs our life, is just putting everybody else first at our own cost. And so as you integrated that shadow, you're like, no, now I have free choice. What is actually going to help me be sovereign, which is benefiting all of humanity, by the way, because otherwise, if we're mothering people or people pleasing, fawning, we're literally enabling them from their own inner power. And this is what so many healers do. They create an unconscious loop for that person, and that person thinks that they don't have power within themselves. Instead of being like, no, you have power within yourself. I'll help you reclaim that, but realizing that this is your innate power and that you don't need to stay in this unconscious, essentially like trauma loop.
Yeah.
And this happens when people bypass the shadow and they just go into love and light, and it's no, that's not where our power is, and that's also not truth. That is called spiritual bypassing. So scream this from the rooftop that work is where the core of the transformation is. And then we can add tools and all of these other things on top of that. And this is also why you trigger people sometimes in your presence, which is the biggest gift, because they can feel your power of you being embodied in this. And unconsciously, they're like, I want that. And they have access to it by claiming their soul fragments back, by starting to choose themselves, by starting to follow the path of the soul, which will not make sense to everybody.
No.
And the people that you like, this is also where we hold people accountable. Like, by you moving to Calgary and quote perceived abandoning, you chose yourself in that moment. And what you're actually doing now is not enabling the people that were benefiting off of you not having boundaries or you not choosing yourself. And so of course they're going to freak out, but then they have to start stepping up and choosing themselves and putting the work in whatever way, shape, or form that is. And like, not to go down this path, but we're just gonna go there for a hot minute. The narcissism empath dynamic, the narcissist is like, the empath is enabling the narcissist because they think they're doing a good thing by unconditionally loving behavior that's actually out of integrity. And I have a podcast coming on this I recorded a year and a half ago, and I didn't release because I was like trying to protect somebody. I don't name names in it, but I was like, whoa, I was like still enabling people by not speaking the truth of where so many kind-hearted human beings are.
And that was another really big thing, along with like calling those pieces back to me in that breath work and that retreat, and not only putting myself first being the biggest thing, but also speaking up and sharing my story. And yes, there was that, moment where, there was a lot of responsibilities financially on me, and just to take care of my three youngest brothers, being the eldest daughter. But something that gets dismissed, and I often get told that I lie about, but I'm not, for someone to lie about this is actually insane. But, I was abused for most of my life, like physical abuse, physically, emotionally, mentally, you name it, everything besides sexual abuse from my family that came elsewhere. It happened, and I held on to a lot of that inside. And yes, the body keeps the score, because I was told that that was my fault. Well, what did you do? Okay, I'm sorry. Like, I am a child. I am a child. To get my ass beat for failing a spelling test in grade 3 doesn't exactly warrant anything, actually. Like, what kind of person thinks that that's okay? What kind of parent thinks that's okay?
And I bet you thought it was normal at first.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was incredibly normal to have that happen in your house, and you just don't tell anyone about it. Like, I was told to lie.
And you're gaslit and manipulated and coerced and controlled to keep, quote, the peace and protect the people that hurt you. And this is what keeps the cycle of abuse happening. And for those of you who don't know what imprints are, or if you do, basically what happens if we don't do this work is we will continue to attract that same dynamic. This is generational trauma, generational abuse. That same dynamic in now a romantic partner until our soul is like, F no, I'm choosing me. I'm putting myself first. No more to this. And then we claim our power back. But the imprint will literally magnetize the same type of energetics to us. And so this is where like I have so much compassion for like it when the outing of it, because there's so much distortion around this and I was so confused for so long. The speaking the truth about it is one of the pieces that holds the people accountable, and it actually stops the cycle. And that's where we claim our power back. That's one of the pieces where we claim our power back. And Tash, your story is part of your mission, because you are living proof that you can come from an energetic dynamic that you did, walk out of it, doing the inner work to shift that, and then manifesting a beautiful partnership. Do you know how rare that is? Like, can we just celebrate this for a moment? It is so rare. And it's just a testament to you doing the work and choosing yourself and doing the hard thing.
And that's what I
Let
want
that
more.
land. And you're going to help so many people out of these dynamics.
That's one thing I'm very, like, I feel called to say this now, but like, I don't want any person, not just women, and I think that needs to be talked about more. Men can be physically abused. Men can be emotionally and mentally and sexually abused. That it's not a one-sided ticket.
Yeah.
And none of it is okay. It is not okay for someone to do that for you, to you.
Yeah.
Don't ever think that you did something to deserve that kind of treatment.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to speak up, to reach out to somebody. Like, listen, my DMs are always open. If you have a question, I know so many people, like, I watched she's not going to love me for this, but we don't talk. I watched my mom stay for so long. For
Yeah.
so long. I stepped in when I could, physically and emotionally, but I couldn't be the one to say, let's go. And the biggest thing is, like, people are like, well, where do I go? He takes care of everything financially. He takes care of this. He takes care of that. Don't worry about it. Right now, you got to worry about making it to tomorrow. So let's get to tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then let's cross all those other bridges later.
I literally did a podcast with Karen, who you met at the retreat, about that and about her choosing herself years ago. It was Tasha, I met her years ago. She came to one of Sarah and I's first breathwork ceremonies and chose herself, walked away from something that was really not serving her. She didn't know how she was going to pay her bills. Mm-hmm. She literally says it. And now she has like her own business. Actually, like she's starting a second business, 2 businesses. Like it's, we get rewarded when we walk away. I have a podcast on this too for anybody listening. It's called, on the Prosperity Portal podcast, it is called and I tracked this in my life. It is called the choice that precedes every money manifestation. It's about choosing yourself, and we don't need to know the how. I was freaking homeless in Florida with my dog for of an abusive relationship. I didn't know where I was going to stay. I didn't know how I was going to feed myself or my dog. And I literally manifested. Source, because I chose myself, Source literally dropped this place that I ended up staying for like a month. It was like a crypto mansion temple type thing. They asked me to feed their fish, and I'm like, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, little did they know that I had no place to stay that night. And then they asked me to stay because I was bringing a positive energy to the space. But we don't need to know the how. That's part of the initiation. Whether it's walking away from that unaligned friendship or that abusive relationship, like, do not take abuse. And I am so sick of the spiritual community saying, well, what did you do to cause that? How is that a reflection? Okay, yes, sure, it is a reflection and that can be shifted, but that can't be shifted till the core wound is healed. And I'm not going to tell a certain part of my story right now, but what I will say is, like, there is way too much going on in the spiritual. It's spiritual bypassing when we're like, oh, why is this person is like physically, emotionally, sexually abusing somebody, and then that person is getting told that it is their fault. Like, no, babe, no, dude, mister, it is not your fault. And I love that you said this about men, because I've been having conversations with such like amazing men about how the feminine manipulates out of a wounding. I'm actually going to do a live on this in the next few weeks on my other Instagram, the courtship code, about how I used to manipulate men, and I was doing it from such a wounded place, and why, and where it comes from, how to identify it, and not to put up with it. Because same thing, like there's like these amazing men in my life who have asked me questions about like how much should I put up with this, and blah blah, blah. And I'm like, and they're like really like successful entrepreneurs, like very divine masculine, like I'm like, none of it, absolutely
Zero.
none of it. What
Yeah.
is like, I'm like, just like it, and it's the wounding, it's the imprints, it's these core wounds, and it's these distortions that we are taught. And it is also the like blueprint from our parents and our lineage. And sometimes it's not even our parents, it's like the grandparents that you can carry imprints from, or a different caregiver that got taught that abuse is your fault, that you have to stay, that you have to like, where does this come in, that you have to shape shift or into somebody that's not gonna, that person is now not gonna abuse, putting yourself in a box, sorting your energy. And guess what, I've tried it, none of it works. It's not you. It is not you. And if you haven't read the book, It's Not You by Dr. Ramani, by the way, I just thought, read it. Read that book. I met her. And the podcast that I recorded a year and a half ago was, she was doing a training. And I'm sitting there being like, oh my God, I thought it was me the whole time. I was like, how can I help this person heal? Oh my God, how can I, like, babe, gentlemen, not your job. Walk away. That is the best thing you can do for them. It jars their patterns of manipulation, deception, and nobody deserves to be abused. And then you can look at what the reflection is and where you're abusing yourself. But please don't stay in that abusive relationship, because I'm so sick of hearing this.
Yeah.
And I've been for a long, long time, but I'm like, people are going to throw daggers at me. I don't care anymore. Do not stay in that relationship. You cannot heal. Trust me. No. I tried. I did everything.
Just to add on to that, because I am the child of divorced parents, don't stay for the kids. Please, please, please. I say this with so much love. Please don't stay for the kids, because I promise you, I would have such better memories of my parents individually happy than miserable together. Okay, I hate to say it. I'm going to be the person to say it. More is caught than taught, and I need every parent person to hear this. It's not okay. Don't stay. I promise you, there are places and people and resources that will help you get through it.
Yeah. 100%.
Worry about the how later on.
Yeah.
If you got to get out the door, get out the door. Because nobody is going to come open that door for you because you keep it locked.
Literally. Firstly, it's 222 as you're saying this. Delegate it to source. I am choosing myself. I'm choosing my children, because children learn by energy. They don't learn by what you're saying. You can't fake it.
More caught than taught.
Yes. And so you're not doing them a favor. You're teaching them to abandon themselves, and that abuse is good, or a distorted relationship is good and healthy. Like,
or it's okay for someone to treat you that way as a daughter or as a son, because your children see as young women and young men how it's, one, okay to treat the opposite gender, but also how it's okay to treat themselves.
100%. 100%. And
I remember that it's just that shift. And I remember my boyfriend saying, I called him that night, and he was like, what did you do today? Like, you're glowing. That. He's like, you're glowing. That. Like, is there a light? Like, where? He's like, I swear it's 8 o'clock where you are right now. And I was like, yeah, like, I'm just about to go outside by the fire. But like, he's like, no, you're glowing. And I'm like, I have not a lick of makeup on, honey, but thank you.
I remember it was like, because you reclaimed your soul fragments, and you're like, whoa, holy Toledo. And okay, I just want to say one thing for the parents who are like, but I can't leave No, you can, and outsource the how to God. Just make the choice, firstly.
You can do it.
Secondly, if you wouldn't want your children in the relationship that you're in, know that you're teaching them that, and that that's what's going to manifest because of these imprints and what you're teaching them. So teach them to choose themselves, to choose respect, to choose actual love. And no, love, honeys, is not you self-abandoning or needing to people please or be somebody that's not truthful to you. That is not love. Okay, now we can move on. So the breath work, Tash fucking killed it. Her boyfriend is like, oh my God, what did you do? Because it's literally like the post breath work glow, post reclaiming soul fragments and energy work. Like, you can't, it's magnetism. This is how we become magnetic. We honor our soul, we reclaim these. And yeah, okay, so let's continue. So that happened.
Great. And the next day, I think we did the embodiment
Yes.
exercise, which is so funny because even sitting here, I'm like, I already know I'm sitting straighter than I would a year ago.
100%. You're sitting in queen energy. Can't
yes.
stuff. It's somatic work, man.
It was crazy. And then for people who weren't there, I couldn't open my mouth to talk during this retreat without sobbing. No, and I know, like, I don't mean like cute little tears. No, I mean ugly snot crying.
So
I mean, yeah, I call it my ugly snot crying, my Kim Kardashian crying face. It was not cute. It was not cute. It was heavy, and it was just like, I'm like, wow, I can't even like talk about lunch, and now I just want to cry every time.
Muting so much stuck energy. That's what it is. It needs to come out. And so
we do it immediately. Jill's like, okay, step forward. Guys, I didn't even put my foot down. I was like, wrong. Go back. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I was like mad because I was like, I hate being called out in public, like being wrong. So I'm like, okay, it's fine. You're fine. You're fine. Do it again. Step out again. Back. And I was like, oh, no, guys, I'm not kidding when I say like that. Like, it was like that every time. It took me like 5 minutes to just step forward properly. And then when I did, Jill came, pulled my shoulders back, lifted my head up, told me to look at I forget who, and I made eye contact and immediately started again ugly crying. Did I say anything? No. Did anyone say anything? No, it was silent. Everyone was looking at me, so I already felt uncomfortable. I felt like I was standing naked in front of everyone. I'm like, can everyone look away? Like, I just need to walk. What is this? But we had to do it. We had to make eye contact.
For listeners,
sorry.
Naked.
I
know some places do that.
So I had clothes on, many clothes, covered head to toe, long sleeve shirt and sweatpants. We were good. We were good.
Yeah, just I had to say that because
I appreciate it.
That's not what I do.
No. Everyone had clothes on the whole time. This was not one of those parties.
Fully
no,
clothed.
Ma'am.
So what she's saying is her soul, like she was stepping into her authenticity, and that's when I was like, meh. It was like I wanted her to step with her power and her full presence and her full authenticity, because our authenticity is our highest embodied frequency. And I remember Mama Kim, who was like very confident. Same thing. I was, no, your authenticity. And so when we're in this, our soul is seen and is the most powerful, potent place we can be. And you got there.
Yes, after many tears, but it was so cool to be like done and be like, oh. And then when I stood there, usually I would remember just thinking, oh, okay. Like, cool. But I was just like, okay.
Yeah, because the other one's a collapse. It's shame. It's I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I'm not wanted. I can't ask for a raise. I can't have hard conversations with my partner. I can't create. I can't manifest. And then this is I am worthy. I am worthy to even have reverence in the tears that are coming through my body. That is an expression of the soul. I am worthy to hold my boundaries. My truth is worthy, and you should care. You're my partner, or you're my friend, or you're my employer, or whatever it is, or you're my client, and this is my truth, and I'm sharing my truth. And that that presence is, I mean, it's an undeniable magnetism. It is true, authentic magnetism. And I'm curious how this, and don't let me forget about the car manifestation,
Wow.
and the house, but I'm curious how this affected your relationship with your partner, having conversations that are uncomfortable to make sure that you're in alignment, because most people are like avoiding the conversation of, do we have the same vision? And vision's one of the things about divine union that's so important. It pulls vision is what anchors. It's the North Star. It allows us to go through the difficult times. It allows us to really grow in relationship on a soul level and deepen. And so, yeah, can you share how like that, you being fully seen
Yeah.
in your soul's nakedness, not physical body, fully clothed at my retreat, we're fully clothed the whole time.
Yes.
Your judgment about, if
that's your thing, but that's not what we do.
Not what we do.
No,
unless it's with our beloved or self dancing.
Yeah.
Like to each their own, but fully clothed at my retreats.
I know it was a really big shift for sure, and not that those were avoided more so before in the relationship, but they weren't, because it was still very new at the time, and it was more so like just getting to know each other and dynamics and like, does this actually? And just as I manifested or attracted my partner, I really did. I did. The morning I ended a relationship, I remember waking up to very not so nice text messages. And I remember looking at my best friend being like, these are all of the things that I am no longer tolerating from a man. This is everything now I want in a partner. And I don't care if I need to wait 15 years to find him.
Yeah.
I waited 4 hours. He showed up at my house. It was great. But it really allowed me to feel more comfortable in holding this space, not just for the conversation, but also for him, because our relationships are our biggest mirrors. Like they trigger, and I put that in quotations for those who are listening, trigger you in that sense, because they're just illuminating like what you need to work on for yourself and vice versa. And it really just allowed me to have conversations about like, hey, like I want to make sure we're on the same page. Like this is important to me in a relationship because I view it as a partnership. I want to do life with you. But I also want to make sure we're on the same page with what we want life to look like.
Yeah.
And it really just allowed me to sit there and express what I want, what I won't settle for, what I won't compromise on, and look at him and say, I love you. And I have so much love for you. But if we're not on the same page, I'm okay to walk away from you.
Yeah. And this, hi, Dania. Sorry, I just had to say hi. Your soul sisters. This is where the embodiment comes in, and like the fact in those soul fragments back, and you're like, whoa, like now I have an embodied experience of wholeness and that I am worth more. Because some people would like say they would have that conversation, or they would avoid it, or they would have it and like still not hold to like, I am okay without you, but this is what I desire. Mm-hmm. And men can feel this. Like when we're like, I love you and like I'm gonna honor myself, and if this is an alignment, I'm okay. That's so magnetic. And it was like the embodied power that you came to allowed, I mean, obviously the conversation didn't happen like there was maybe in another timeline where you weren't fully embodying your power, but I know as a fact, energetically, if you weren't fully embodying your power to the way it was, like it might have gone differently. Not that you wouldn't be in alignment, but I'm sure he was like sitting there in awe of you and like, oh my God, like, am I wrong? I don't know. He didn't tell me this, but
no, it was a really good conversation. It was really just like nice, and like you could tell, yes, like he was, I'll say it, I'm sure he'll listen to this later, but like, yeah, there was a lot of admiration in the look. I know the look. It's cute.
That's feminine power embodied, and it's so beautiful and it's so magnetic.
And I just feel like that brought us like closer together, like being able to have that conversation. And then like go over all of those different things that we were talking about and just be like, okay, cool. Like, this is fun.
Yes.
This is good. Like, this is what I
Yeah.
wanted. Like, I didn't want someone where I had to like change my life, where I had to sacrifice
Exactly.
XYZ for his career or my career or that. I'm like, no, I want to do life with you. I want you to have
Yes.
your thing. I want me to have my thing. I want us to
Yes.
have our thing. But then like then it just becomes fun. And I'm like, well, I just want to play
Yeah.
the game of life. And if you'd want to do it together for life, that'd be great. Very
Yes.
interested in it.
And like it's so beautiful because like he's supporting your dreams. The fact he's like, "Do you want to go? We'll go." Like that's a
Go.
protector. That's a divine protector. And like you did create this. Like you're the living embodiment, a living transmission of this work. And I just like honor that so deeply. And like you now like I just saw a vision of you like after that conversation. It's like you now are investing in a relationship that you know has aligned vision, and it's like that investment's going to compound versus like some people that just invest in like a relationship, for example, and they're not willing to have the conversation, or they do and they're like, this is an alignment, and it's like they're just like kind of going with the flow. You have now something that you're like investing and rooting in and building with him, like that divine union. Oh my God. Firstly, like, congrats on creating that and continuing to create, because I don't think it ever ends, and you're just deepening,
No.
deepening. And this is one of the things that like so many people like want, and they say they want, and but it's like, are they really walking the path? Are they really willing to walk away if it's not in alignment? Are they willing to have the hard conversations? Because that is the way to that type of relationship.
And also
And
too, I say like, and I've said this too. I'm just like, if I met you 3 years ago, I would have friend zoned you so hard. I would have manipulated the shit out of you. Like I would have just used you and abused you and like chucked you to the side when I was done.
I always in divine timing.
Always in that. But it was also that
I
work that I had to do
yes,
to get there in order to not only attract that kind of partner in my life, but also not self-sabotage it. Because yes, I've had glimpses of like good people and good men and good relationships, but I've always found a way, I don't want to say to ruin it,
yes,
but to sabotage myself in some way for it. And it wasn't until I just let go and I was like, you know what? We're either in it together or we're not. And either way, like there's not going to be hard feelings about this. Like I'm not going to be upset because I don't feel like it was wasted time.
yes.
We're good.
100%. And that's it. Like we learn from all the relationships, whether they're life partner or not, but it comes a point where it's like, let's have this conversation. And I totally get it. Cause as I shared, like I used to manipulate men so much. And like it was coming from deep trauma. And like I don't judge when women do this, but it does not get you into a healthy relationship. And it's like
Doesn't get
you're
you where you think it does.
100%. It's 100%. It's not love. Love and manipulation are completely different frequencies, and it is the
Mm-hmm.
inner work and the imprint work. And like, because if say it was years ago and
Mm-hmm.
you met him, it's that paradigm that the imprints from what you learned was possible from your upbringing, that becomes people's reality. That became your reality. And until you shift out of it and do the core inner work and the imprint work, and which is like trauma healing, somatic work, etc., the soul work, and also put yourself in other environments and be like, oh, this is possible. Like that's like one of the best things about mentorship. I see you mentoring so many women on this specific topic. Like I'm having all these visions, Tash. It's just going through
I love it.
because you're the living transmission of it. And they're like, whoa, this is possible. Like that alone is like invaluable. Okay, so I have 20 more minutes and then I do really
Perfect.
gotta go.
No worries. My phone is
I'm
slowly
going
dying
to,
as we do
but
this. But
yes.
it really did, like
So,
after that retreat, lead to a lot of that. Because like even just on the
yeah,
ferry home, like the way I stood, like getting in the car with my dad after and like driving to the airport and just like saying to him like, I want to nurture this relationship and these are the things that I require. And like if you can't meet me here, I love you, but I can love you from a distance.
yeah,
And I was just so clear in, this is what I want. And
yeah,
I'm not going to apologize for wanting this, because Wanting nice things doesn't make me a bad person.
Nope.
Wanting to have a bit of bouginess in my life doesn't make me a bad person.
It
And
makes
so,
it
what do you want me to apologize for? Being me? No, that's
literally
not what we're doing anymore. No,
your
ma'am.
your soul is guiding you to have luxury, bouginess, options. Luxury literally translates to options because that is where we grow in pursuit of that, loves. So you get to have the highest frequency life. You get to have the luxury, the bouginess,
Yeah.
going to the nice restaurants, nice clothes. Like, this is an expression of our soul, and your soul desires that because you chose to be on this planet. So why not choose? Because it's a choice, it's an identity shift. Choose to have that type of life and to walk that path.
Yeah.
And go through the initiations en route, and just surround yourself by other people who are choosing that path, and know that it's actually a good thing because your soul expands in pursuit of that. It's your soul, your desires are from the divine, derivative of desire of the Father. They are there because the North Star, it's our soul being like, go this way, because your soul, you are going to become the victor, the creator of your life in pursuit of this. It's not even about the thing, it's about who you become. And like, that's where we can have like, be proud of ourselves and like that, whoa, I created this, and you get the thing.
Yeah.
And so it's actually like, it's not even that you're not a bad person, it's that you're walking the path of the soul in pursuit of that and the embodiment of that. And it's, that takes courage. I think it makes you, I don't want to say a better person because I'm not into like hierarchy, but it makes you an inspiration. It makes you a powerful being. It is actually of the highest benefit of all around you, of you showing them what is possible for them too, by you embodying it. So for all you thinking, oh, me wanting to fly business class, or me wanting to, like, have really high quality food, or me wanting to, and I'm not saying it has to be a whole thing. Like, I'm going to Calgary in a few weeks, and like for Thanksgiving, and like I'm not flying business class, but like, did I upgrade my ticket on the way back from Denver, like for $622 for the upgrade? Like, yeah, absolutely. It was a longer flight, and I just desired
Comfort.
that,
And
like,
that was it.
that was it. I show up better when I'm like in a good energy, and the flight was like longer than an hour. And like, so it's not like you're like, oh, I'm better than. It's like, no, you're choosing that quality life. And actually, how do you run a sustainable business? How do you will never pursue the soul path if you're so worried about where the, like, about money all the time, and where the money is going to come from, and like embodiment right here, because I coached Tash on putting skin in the game and blah blah blah, and you did, and it's phenomenal, and like, you made a choice, and I'm like, had this huge opportunity where my soul was saying yes, and I'm like, literally don't even have that money in my business bank account right now, and like, unavailable to pull funds, and I was like, I made that choice. I didn't worry about where the money was gonna come from, and then it came. People just like book sessions and all this stuff, like, but this is the thing, like, we cannot, like, the moment we're spending so much time and energy worrying about, should I invest an extra dollar in this organic apple, can I get a coffee at the coffee shop, like, your life force energy, instead of creating, is going toward things that, like, you can just outsource to source, but you have to walk the path. And I just see you doing it over and over and over again, and it's so beautiful. And man, you are going to help so many women. Like, I feel like one of your niches is like relationships, and like exiting like abusive relationships into like true divine union. Anyways, it's just come through, so I had to say it. But this, I just got so passionate. Some people are like, you're way too passionate about what you do. I'm like, it's because I had a lot of anger that I had to transmute, and then it transmuted into passion. And you can call me too passionate, but like, whatever. I am very passionate.
Also, if I go work with somebody and you're not passionate about what you do, I don't want to work with you.
Right?
Plain and
Right?
simple. If you're not passionate about what you do, I don't want to work with you. So I just think of that, like, whatever TikTok, more energy, more footwork, more passion, more passion. Like, yeah, and I'm just like, yeah, more passion.
I love that song. It's actually a really synchronistic song to me. I'll tell you about it later. But yeah, and so I don't even know how I got on this rant, this riff, but like choosing yourself in these moments, it is an identity shift. You don't, it's like Tasha's story, my story, so many people's stories, she didn't know where the investment, the money was going to come from. And it's not your job. It's your job to choose yourself. And then, okay, let's go into the miracles because I do believe
we're going to wrap this up. I promise we'll be on time.
So deepening with your partner and your beloved. And if you desire to work with Tash on like relationship stuff, like reach out. Or
offer coming soon, state of the end. You might be able to
yes,
do it before you want to. So
yes. Okay, so that so deepening with your partner, having these hard conversations, being in your true feminine power and magnetism and authenticity, not manipulation.
No,
authenticity.
Being comfortable being a passenger princess, because I've had to be in the driver's seat my whole life, and I'm learning still. I'm not perfect in it, but I'm learning to be comfortable sitting in the driver's seat or the passenger seat, sitting in the back seat, and just letting go. Because it's not my job to worry about all those things. And I've said that to my boyfriend recently. I'm like, I'm not made to worry about bills, honey. I'm just made to make us rich, and you can manage all of the money, because that's not my interest. I just like making it and spending it. That's all. The rest is all you. Like, I've come to realize I no longer want these burdens. That's your problem.
Yeah.
And it's not a problem because you're great at it. So you shine here, I'll shine over here. What, even like 6 weeks later? Dream house. Yes, I'm renting. So for those of you who are like family members or friends listening, no, I did not buy a house. I'm still renting. Thank you very much. But I said, I want windows. I want a big kitchen. I want a space that's separate from my work and where I go to relax after. And I have all those things. I'm staring, and my entire wall here is literally floor to ceiling windows. I have a separate space for my work. I have this massive, it's perfect. And so many people came. The guy even said it, like, we have said no to so many people, and like, we don't need the money. And like, and I so appreciated how transparent and like amazing they were. And literally like hours after, I was like, I would love this space if you would have me. And they're like, we would love to have you. And like, they waited like an extra 4 weeks for me to do it. The money just came. I had family offer to like help me with a deposit and like do other things. So I was very much supported in that without even realizing it. Because I was like, how am I going to pay for all of this? What?
Yeah. And it came in, and this is where it gets to be cool. Like, it comes in ways that we can't expect sometimes. We're like, it has to come from this one job or this one, and it's like, no. It can come from so many ways. Like, we have to open and trust and have faith in ourselves and in source and choose that reality. And I literally just had a vision of you. We're on the way to the retreat where we got coffee and then my cinnamon bun went. Anyways, but you were speaking this into existence. I remember you're like, this is what I want for my apartment. And like, you know, shortly after the retreat, you manifested your freaking dream apartment. Like, it gets to be this easy, but it's the path of courage and choosing yourself and like really doing, I mean, I will vouch for the somatic work over and over and over again, and the soul reclamation. And like, I just think the breath work is like so phenomenal. Well, all of it, but
highly recommend.
It's really, it's such an important piece of the puzzle, which is why we do at the beginning of the retreat to reclaim that power first and then integrate the other somatics, because without reclaiming the soul fragments and like we're allowing the body to like do what it needs to do to transmute trauma, the other stuff isn't as powerful. So that's why we start with it. So anyway, so deepen your relationship with your partner, have those conversations. He's in awe. You guys are like co-creating abundance and divine, and you magnetizing, he managing, like, oh my God. You manifested your dream place.
Got a car.
The car situation, the modeling situation.
That was crazy.
Yeah, why don't you share the car situation, the modeling situation, and I think something happened at work. I think you asked.
Yes, I got a raise. So
got a raise.
Got my dream place, check. Asked for a very, I'm putting it in quotations, unrealistic, because it's unrealistic I'm gonna not say too much because it's gonna go on live.
Unrealistic. Lulu.
Yeah, just based on certain political, internal company politics. And listed out. And I was like, no, I am amazing. I'm actually worth this much, and I'm not even asking you for anywhere near that amount of money. I have proven that I'm worth that much money. You can't teach people what I do, so this is what I'm asking for. And I put at the end, waiting more than X amount of time is just not, like, it's not going to happen. It's unacceptable, was what I think I said. Was like, waiting for this is unacceptable.
Yeah.
And I got it.
Of course you did.
And I got it. Because I'm like, no, again, this is what it is.
Because you all, again, embodied power. It wasn't that you had the conversation like, oh, like if they don't give this enough. No. You had claimed your power back in your somatic body and your energy field, and they felt it. They're like, uh-oh, we're going to lose her, and we can't lose her.
Yeah.
And so, congrats. So you got a raise. Okay.
Got a raise. And then my grandfather wanted to gift me a car, and there was a lot of just ups and downs and things, and it felt very frustrating at one point. And I remember just being like, no, this is not it. I'm not doing this. I'm not subscribing to this hamster wheel and then wonder why I'm dizzy after. X or Y, because there is no third option. And I was like, I know this is gonna get done. I had like a family friend visiting from out of town, and I was like, I know by the time she gets here, I'm going to have a car. And what happened within a whole week of saying that and her coming here, I had a car. Yes, I was supported. Yes, I wasn't expecting to have the finances to pay for it, and I'm extremely grateful to have been gifted that.
Yeah.
But I also realized I had to get there internally to be able for someone to see, you know what, this is a worthwhile investment, putting this much money into her.
And not to have coercion, because I remember we were talking about this at the retreat, because there was like some coercion of like trying to control you and manipulate you, and you had to be willing to lose it, work through that internally, and then and be in your power and be like, I said, don't not accept it, because part of you was like, I'm not accepting it. And I'm like, don't not accept it. But you set the standard, you set the container of accepting this, and make sure that there's no, quote, puppet strings and coercion that are going to be caused by you accepting this. And again, you stepped into your power, you set the precedent, had the hard conversations, shifted the energy internally, felt worthy of receiving it as well, and cleared these codependent entanglements. So now it came to interdependence, and boom, you got it without feeling like you were sacrificing your soul or your truth, or feeling like your life was controlled if you accepted this thing. And I would actually not recommend anybody accept something if it's a codependent relationship. Work through the codependence, claim your power back, set the precedents, embody your power. Come to my retreat if you would like to do that. It's May 2026. It's going to be so powerful. The link is, we'll put the link in bio shortly. It's not in the bio yet. And use Tasha's story as inspiration. Okay, so then that happened, and then
the modeling thing was so random. This local brand who I'd bought a sweatshirt from, the sweatshirt I wore to the retreat, the one with the rose.
Oh my God, I love
that brand. So shout out Sinners to Saints. I'll give Jill their Instagram so you guys can go follow them, because they make incredible pieces.
I'll tag them. Tag them.
And so I saw that they were posting for model casting, and I joked with my boyfriend, like, oh, like, I love the brand, like, why not? And they're like, oh, we need a headshot and like this. And I'm like, I have a mirror selfie. I have a selfie on my Instagram. Like, model is not on my resume. I've never modeled. I worked Vancouver Fashion Week, and by worked, I volunteered. That's a whole other story of, but I loved it. And that's what I dropped out of college for. Studied fashion design and fashion marketing. I love fashion. It's great. But I've never modeled. I was the person getting people dressed, not the woman walking down the runway.
Yeah.
And so they messaged me after. I was like, oh, I'll see if I have a headshot and I'll get back to you. And so they messaged like, hey, like, we're closing down everything. Like, do you want to send this off? And I'm like, I don't have a headshot. Like, I'm just going to be honest. I've never done this before. don't know what to do. They took a photo from my Instagram. Like, we'll send this to the head casting agent. Within 2 minutes, I got a response. He's accepted you. Here's the details. We'll see you on Sunday. It's literally tomorrow.
Oh my God.
So I go tomorrow to this casting, and yeah, I have no idea what to expect. Never been to a model casting before. Never done it. And I was like, oh, okay, sure. I'll see you on Sunday.
Embodied confidence and manifestation. You are the fucking vortex. Yes, I'm celebrating this so much. You can't fake magnetism, guys. Like,
no.
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay. We do got to wrap this up. So
yes.
Thank you so much, Tash, for coming on, for sharing the story. I freaking love you. I'm so excited to see you again in person and hug you. If you guys are interested in the retreat, it will be in my bio shortly. So, and if you're watching this on the podcast, it will be, the application will be in the show notes. If you're wondering why there's an application, it's because, like, I just want to make sure everybody's intention is pure. We have the best community at the retreats. Tash can probably vouch for that. It is so supportive, which is so key, because any cattiness, any manipulation, like, that's not available in my vortex. It needs to be a very safe space, and it is literally like family. It's on the Sunshine Coast. It's amazing. So apply.
Highly recommend. Don't wait. Don't be attached. Don't wait till the last minute. Get your spot now.
Get your spot now. Tasha's coming. Is it okay that I said that? I want to say, okay, Tasha's coming. We're so excited.
I'm so excited.
So, it's 4 days. We'll start in the afternoon the first day, and then 3 other full days. We'll end probably around 4-ish on the final day. It is like the most life-changing experience. Obviously, you guys have heard Tasha's story. There's other ones on the podcast. I'll also link those, actually, if you're watching this on the podcast. And this is probably the last one of the sort we're doing for a while. We will shift to an immersion. So get your butt there. It will shift your life. If you're like, I know all the things, I mentally know, and it's like, but it's not embodied. If your life is not a living miracle, if you're not like embodying miracles like Tasha's story, like, it's because somatically and energetically you're not embodied, because there's pieces of your soul that are left in other spaces that need to be called back. There is wisdom in your body that needs to get activated. And also, everything's included, room and board's included. There is
amazing food.
We're getting Chef Rachel again. Oh my God, the food's so good. It's right on the shore, the ocean.
It's stunning. I saw my very first whale my entire life last year or this year. But
you can go swim if you want. There's a cold plunge sauna.
It's amazing. Don't miss it. Don't have to watch it from our story.
Yes, we will see you guys there. And Tash, we'll link your Instagram for those watching the podcast. Obviously, I'm gonna make you I'm gonna tag you, and
it'll be on there. It's launching officially soon. I haven't actually shared it and done everything, so it'll be live within the next few weeks. Before the end of October, everything will be there. But I do want to give a special early offer before everything goes out officially. For 5 people. 5 people. That's what we're deciding on. 5 people.
Awesome.
I will gift you a mini intuitive read, and we will work one-on-one for 4 weeks together. And that will be, 5 people.
So, oh my God. Okay, guys, jump on that. If you feel the pull, Tash, and I don't say this lightly, she's very gifted. She holds a lot of wisdom. She's very powerful, intuitive. And she can see through your bullshit. So she's going to call you out in a very kind, loving way. Yeah. Like most coaches or people won't. So, I mean, obviously I will, but
yeah, it's very different. So if you're curious as to what it's going to look like or anything, send me a message. Yeah. But once it goes live, those spots will no longer be available, because now you're going to have to give an exchange and invest in yourself if you want to do it. So I'm really, really excited. And thank you again for having me yap with you. I appreciate it.
The final thing, and if you feel like you're like, whoa, her relationship story is really inspiring as well, like, definitely take one of those spots. I just had the pull to say that, Tash. Like,
Thank you.
So many women. your
There
story.
really isn't, yeah. Like if you feel called about anything, relationships, like your personal side, like it really, there is no right or wrong thing to come to me for and ask you. And I will always be honest. If I'm not the person who can help you, I will always make sure you are with someone who is. So that is the other thing, is I have a really amazing community of people who are very gifted as well. And so yeah, worst case, you meet someone as amazing as Jill and I.
Yes, 100%. So jump on that. That is an incredible offer, guys. Like, do not hesitate. Okay, I love you
I love you.
so much,
Thank you.
Tash. I'll see you soon. I do gotta hop.
Yes,
But this will
love
be
you.
saved and on the
Bye.
podcast. And I can't wait to hug you in person.
Me too.
Mwah.
Hello, Sacred Soul. I hope you loved that episode. And if you did, I would so appreciate if you could share and tag me on the social medias at Jill Alana Nixon. And if this brought you value, I would be eternally grateful if you could leave a 5-star review. And if you did, take a picture and email it to teamjillalananixon@gmail.com, and we will gift you a free cord cutting soul revival mini activation, a Jai activation. Put that in the show notes, the email, and thank you so much. We will see you again next week on the Prosperity Portal podcast.